Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get started. And yeah, hey, I see a few people have joined us, so I'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Um, if you weren't here for the live one, I'll introduce myself again quickly. I'm Dave from the Trophy team, and I'm the product specialist for Rocket League. And I've been, working for a while now with the data science team and the engineers to build this Rocket League training platform. And today we're going to talk about a few things, actually. Got a few quick things on the docket. We're not going to make it super long. I'll try to get through it. But first, we want to introduce a couple of things that are new in the Trophy app that we're really excited about. One is a new feature, and that's Fullscreen Overlays, specifically the ability to show our stat overlays for full screen users. When I say full screen overlays, I don't mean something that takes up your full screen. I mean something that works while playing Rocket League full screen, which is a technical challenge because when Rocket League is full screen, it doesn't like to allow other things to pop up over it. But there is ways. There's other apps that do this, and we've added this functionality as well. After I show you that real quick, we're going to have Dr. Kyle, our data scientist, jump up on stage, and he's going to do something pretty exciting because he's going to tell you and show you a demo of a pretty cool experimental new feature that's we're sort of lifting the curtain on it a little bit and showing you something really cool with a new Discord bot. So he's going to show you that. So definitely stick around for that. And after that, I'm going to jump into one of our AI mechanic lessons, and I'll show you how that works. And we'll definitely take any questions you have. Feel free to raise your hand or post comments in the chat if you have any questions. Either myself or some of the members of the team, the Rocket League team, are here, and we will answer them for you, and happy to have you join us on stage to talk if you want to. We are recording this, just as an FYI. Let me double check that I've hit the recording button. I have. And just letting you know that if you do have questions and want to join us on stage, that part of it will be part of the video recording. So just a heads up, any comments that you write in chat, those won't be a part of the video recording, so feel free to talk away there as well. So let's get started. I'm going to quickly jump over to the Trophy app here. So here I am in the Trophy app. If anybody hasn't downloaded it or installed it yet, this is what it looks like. Let's go right out to the top. We have a bunch of functionality for sim racers. This is a paid product. We also, obviously, which we're here to talk about today, have Rocket League, and this is our free side of the app. We're still very much sort of building this out, and it's still in development. A lot of these pages in the app, you can almost imagine, are like, it's like a house that's under renovation. Like we've already got some design changes that are planned for some of these menus, and there's stuff is changing all the time. So it's still, if you're using the app, you are very much a part of an alpha development. And we take any and all feedback very seriously, and we appreciate it. It's welcome, and it helps shape the app. So yeah, so quickly, sorry, we're not doing the mechanic lesson yet. Quickly, I want to talk about overlays and the idea of overlays, which is to give you stats. And if anyone was here for our last live event, I showed off our analysis stats. We wanted a way to show stats very quickly and very digestible fashion right in the game of Rocket League. And we wanted to do that so that you can be playing League, finish a match. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change your normal habit whatsoever, which I'm going to assume, if you're like me, is to finish a match and then immediately queue for that next match or soon after. So we want the ability to show you some stats and give you a bit of learning insights right there in game, when otherwise there would be basically some downtime, which is the scoreboard comes up, you get a few recap stats from the game, and then you're kind of waiting for that next one to start. And the way this works is we analyze your replay file. In order for this to happen, we actually have this process here, which is our auto record or auto save Rocket League replays. It will instantly save the replay file from the game you just played. It will then, per this setting, upload that replay to the cloud for it to be processed and parsed. And in terms of overlays, it will then be popped up on screen as a widget. And this is done via Electron. and you can control the settings here. And this setting here is our newest one, because up until the beginning of this week, Monday was when this is released, our overlays only worked for windowed and borderless mode in-game. So you couldn't use it if you were playing full screen when we first released. As of this week, we're now excited to announce that you can use overlays in full screen, and you can get that learning right there in game, like I said. And yeah, without further ado, let me show you how it works. Can everybody can see my screen, and I have my Rocket League audio turned down a bit so it's not blasting anybody's ears off, but everyone can see Rocket League, I believe, correct? In order to demonstrate this, I'm going to play a bot match. Great. Okay, it's working. Perfect. I'm going to play a quick bot match because I don't want to subject you to 5 minutes of my very diamond level Rocket League gameplay. Probably critique it horribly, so I'm just going to... I'll set it to a 3-goal match, so there is just a little bit of gameplay and a little bit of driving around. But this, of course, will work on casual, competitive matches. It will work on private matches as I'm demonstrating it, but any online matchmaking, overlays will show up. Oops. That's bizarre. Anybody familiar with why I can't start a private match right now? Let me restart Rocket League. I believe I know why that happened. I believe I know why that happened, and it's because I had launched Rocket League through Trophi originally, which is our RLBot modded version of Rocket League, which means that as a sort of safety measure, it does not allow you to launch into a Rocket League match. Just because it is a modded version. It has our sort of Trophi training materials modded into it, and all those training modules I'm going to show you a little later. But for now, let's try this again. Let's do a private match. Let's set it to 3 goals and create match. Sorry about that. Sorry for the overlays. So just like you saw, some Discord overlays pop up. I'm going to try to just get a little bit of gameplay here before I score on these beginner level bots. And the reason I'm playing a little bit of gameplay is because I want to show you a couple of cool things in the overlays, one of which is a boost heat map. If you were with us for the analysis demo, you saw these boost features, and I know we were talking about it with one of the users here, that we basically show you a heat map, a map of the field, and we demonstrate where you picked up small boosts, where you picked up big boosts, where you tended to favor on the field. So this will be a short, quick match, but when you see this over a 5-minute match, it can give you some really cool insights as to how you play. There's also a play style graph, which sort of shows you what your play tendency was. Okay, there's 2. We need 3 goals here on these bots, and then we'll be done. So I'll describe what's about to happen. As the match comes to an end, you typically go into your endgame screen, and then the scoreboard will appear. As soon as the scoreboard appears, there is a save replay button, and as I said, if you have the autosave feature on, that button will instantly be activated by our process. There are potentially in the audience here, there may be some Baki's mod users who that app also has its own autosave feature. If you use that, it's perfectly all right. This will also work. So there you go. You see the replay being saved, and here you see the overlay widgets popping up. Sorry. The data is still loading, but there you go. After a few seconds, the data will load in, and you can see, now I'm on a timer because they will disappear at the end of the endgame screen, but you see a boost heat map, you see your average speed, you see your play style, field positioning via field thirds, aka the neutral third, the defensive third, and the offensive third, and you can see how all these numbers stack up to the rank average, which is those green dotted lines. And then you see game highlights. And basically, those rank averages are going to tell you It's up to you to determine what you define as good or bad, but how far are you off the norm of your rank? And the boost heat map, as you can see, shows you the areas of the field where you favored picking up boost. As the game goes on, those will continue to get more and more red. And the playstyle, indicates that I was low on support because I wasn't trying to rotate alongside my my bot teammates. But there you go. I didn't actually even see what I was green on. It disappeared. And the reason it disappeared is because that end game screen is at an end. Typically, that means you are queuing up for another match. And, we wanted to basically automatically trigger those overlays to hide and go away so they're not on your screen at that point. And that loop will happen every time you play a game. And one I will say before I open up the floor to any questions is one really cool feature that we're working on as we speak is the ability to have an overlay that you actually customize. I'm really excited by this one. It's basically you can take the stats that are in the overlay and you can choose if you want these two. Do you want a totally different group of three? Do you want all five in one? You can basically take one of those overlay widgets and basically pick and choose or pin any stats that you are really interested in tracking. I think that's going to be a really cool feature. So we're excited about that. We're obviously very happy to have this available for full screen users because, as we heard, a lot of users prefer to play in full screen. It gives you the best Rocket League performance. And there you have it. We really want to hear if people haven't used overlays already. Please give them a try. We encourage you to. We want to hear if they work for you. We want to hear what you think of them. If you like them, love them, don't find them that useful, we want to hear that too. And also, if you have suggestions for stats that you think would be really amazing and game-changing to have in those overlays or features you can think of, please let us know. Because like I said, we take that feedback to heart and we really try to give users what they want. And I think we can make overlays even better than they are now by really fine-tuning them to what our users want. Is there any questions about overlays? I know I didn't give a long demo, but that's kind of the idea. I just wanted to show it off quickly, let you see what they look like and how they work, and then if you want to go play with them, you can. I see a chat question, but sorry, I need to quit Rocket League before I answer it. Is it possible to see where boost has been used in-game, or is this being planned? So yeah, good question. One thing that we do offer in the analysis dashboard that we don't have yet in the overlay is this idea of boost chains, which is where you go on the field to pick up those chains of boosts. And people have really commented that they find this feature really useful. And we certainly could potentially show that via overlay. Right now, it's just the boost heat map, and then we also have a few stats just about the raw numbers. But yeah, boost, oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry, boost being used in game. So you mean boost like where you are boosting the most? We currently don't have any stats about that in the dashboard, but I think that's actually really interesting. We could certainly look at adding that. Yeah, very cool feature idea. We don't have it right now, but again, I will take that suggestion away and we might run with it because I think that could be pretty cool to see too. You could even just do a similar heat map to where you boosted as opposed to where you collected boost. So that's definitely possible. Yeah, good idea. Great. Okay, so I think if Kyle's here and you want to jump up on stage, we can have you up and you can talk about the Discord bot.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so I was going to mention, just talking a little bit about our Discord bot feature. It's sort of similar to the overlays that Dave mentioned in the fact that we've been experimenting with different ways for how we can give people feedback after the match, because that's probably one of the most valuable points in time when there is to deliver feedback is you've just played the match. We'd like to be able to give you something quick for, like Dave mentioned, if you're queuing to go into another match, or maybe you've got a little bit of time to review or do something in between. So yeah, I'll just put So I just dropped a message in the chat there, and basically I've just set up an experimental Discord server for some trophy stuff. Currently, we've just got the Discord bot up there, but basically I just sort of wanted to make this a place for experimental features that we're working on, that it's not something that we're ready to like promote and say, hey, we've got this cool new feature that we think's ready for prime time, but also the sort of at the stage where we've got something there. We really want to learn from users how to take what we've got and how to modify it to be something that will be great when we release it to the general population. So yeah, basically I've set up this Discord server here for the Discord bot that we're working at testing. I guess I can share my screen here in one sec. Uh, but yeah, so basically if I can jump over to the Discord server, and I actually noticed when Dave did his demo, currently I've got this recaps channel set up where the idea of the recaps channel is just going to be when you play a match, and it's more showing basically ways that we can share analysis and make analysis from one person available to someone else. But the current way that we're experimenting with this with, and again, it's the final version will might change a lot from what we've got now. But now, when Dave's finished a match, his replay got uploaded through Trophy. Then he'll get, I believe he gets a DM too, but he'll also get something dropped here into the recaps channel. So then he can take a look here at this report, get a little breakdown of what was going on. We're planning on bringing some more visuals into this. Like I know the website's got some nice visuals that people like a lot. You can always from this, I've got a button here, we've got a button here that you can launch an online report. So this will basically just bring you into the full Trophy web app if you want to get the full breakdown of what was going on in the match. But the other thing and also there's instructions channel here. It's just some basic instructions of how to set up the bot. One big thing I'm looking for is I've got the suggestions channel set up. This was an example of a visual where I was exploring the idea, because one thing we've heard is that people are wanting to understand their speeds and how their speeds are different from other people in the game. So this is a visual where we might add it to the Discord bot if it seems like something that people would like, but it's showing my Rocket League username is this down here, Bob Dole, Bob D, and this is comparing me and my teammate Calhoun, how much time we spent in each speed range, as well as the average speeds of everybody in the game, and then we're sort of compared against the people on other teams. But we've also got another junior person working on some other ideas for visuals, and we've got I think Mohammed's here on the event. He's did a lot of the work setting up the infrastructure to actually make this bot work. But we're very much opening this up, and we're looking forward for people telling us like, hey, I would really like it if you could send me a message after the match that told me X, Y, or Z, like whatever the stuff is that you would find personally valuable. We'd love to hear about that. We're also thinking like we don't have any specific support now for teams or for coaches and students, but it's one idea that we're playing around, the idea that whether it's a team can sort of subscribe together for updates from anybody on their team, or if we had a system where you might have a coach and your coach could get updates on how your performance is working on. Again, it's very much, this is a very early feature, and it's not something that we're putting out there and saying, hey, we've got something that's perfectly great the way it is, everybody should use it. But it's very much we're putting this out to sort of show, hey, we could do something like this or something like this. How can we make it so that it best serves our audience? So yeah, that's really all I had to say on that. Again, the Discord's there, the link's in the chat, and we're very much looking forward to hearing feedback of what type of stuff you'd like to see. And also, another thing that's helpful when you're giving feedback, like give what you'd like to see, and if you have any specific reasons of why, I find as a developer that can help me a lot, because it's sometimes you might have a very specific ask that's a little hard to do that exact thing. But if you can tell me a little bit of info about the problem you're trying to solve, or like why you want that thing, it then might spark some ideas on our side of, okay, maybe we can't do that exactly the way they ask, but I think I've got something else that can solve this problem or fulfill this need. So yeah, the experimental Discord's up. It's officially affiliated with Trophy, but it's not like an official product that we've got released or monetized or anything, and it's really just a space to get some feedback from people. So yeah, I guess I'll jump off the camera now and give it back to you. But I'll be around the chat a little bit, be around the experimental Discord too.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you, Kyle. Yeah, it's pretty cool because that's kind of another channel that's doing something similar to what overlays are doing, but in a different form, and we can do different things. Overlays can be these quick digestible bits of stats, and then the Discord bot, if you're using that, can be this kind of assistant level coaching insights. You can get a bit more writing. People don't want to do a ton of reading when they're in the midst of a Rocket League match and queuing up for a new one, I don't think. But I think the Discord bot is a chance to, do similar but separate feature ideas, and kind of they can complement each other really nicely. So there you go. Okay, so next up, we are going to show you an AI mechanic lesson. And this is kind of one of the core features of the Trophy app. So I'm excited to show you what we have here. It is called Trophy AI. And so I'm going to introduce you to our AI coach and do one of our mechanic lessons. So when you're in the Trophy app, I'm going to go to all mechanics. I'm not going to do a full tour of the app, but if you were to click training paths, you'll get all of the same content. It'll just be laid out in a kind of branching path like this that kind of takes you through a logical flow to the lesson plan where you do one thing after the other. If you don't want to have that flow set out for you at the outset and you know exactly what you want to go train, you can go to all mechanics. And here in all mechanics, you can just see a big list of what we offer. Nothing is locked. You can do whatever you want at the outset. And in my case, I'm just going to do the half flip.
Hi everyone, it's Dan from trophi.ai. In this video, I'm going
to pause the video, but there's Dan from Trophy AI, one of our colleagues who made these really cool intro videos that kind of shows you the mechanic, shows you how to go about it, and it has a little controller overlay. So that's really helpful if you just are coming in and say, I don't even know what a half flip is. If you're sort of, low ranked or beginner user, we will teach you the mechanic and its sort of core functionality and why you might want to do the mechanic. If you already know that, of course, you can just jump right into our AI coaching lesson. Now, as I said, what happens when you launch one of our mechanic lessons is that we launch Rocket League. It is a modded version of Rocket League. So it's basically enhanced with RLBot features. That's what we launch it through. And from that, we've built sort of this like custom recipe of coaching materials. We've included our AI coach, Mansell, who's our proprietary sort of Rocket League AI coach. As
Welcome
you can see,
to half flip coaching. Let's get started.
You'll hear him
with the
speak
first
about half
exercise.
flips now.
The half flip is a fundamental mechanic in Rocket League. It's a quick way to turn your car around and get back into the play. To perform a half flip, you'll need to flip backwards, cancel the flip, and then rotate your car to land on your wheels. Let's start with the first step, a back flip. Flip your car backwards by holding back on the left stick and then double tapping the jump button. Do 5 backflips to move on to the next step. I'll be here to give you tips and feedback along the way. And if you have any questions like, can you repeat that? Or, what am I doing wrong? Ask me by holding the comma key on your keyboard and speaking into your microphone.
Okay, so there you had your first introduction, maybe your first introduction to Mansell, our AI coach. He told you a little bit about the half flip and why you might want to do it. And then one of the key, there's lots to talk about here, so let's get started. One of the key pieces of our AI mechanic lessons is that they are broken down into component parts. So for most mechanics, or at least the ones that it's feasible to do so, we really wanted to break the process down into steps wherever possible. We feel that this is the most natural way that people learn, that if you want to do a half flip, but you're just starting out and you don't know what to do, let's start out with a fairly easy task, and that is to do a backflip. I think, you can see what I'm seeing, which is this little Discord bubble is covering up some of the text. I apologize about that. I don't know how to quickly fix it, so I won't try to. But what's under there is the word task, current task, which is a backflip. And then if you press T to show tips, this is optional, but if you hit T on your keyboard, it kind of opens that up and expands it a little bit. So we're on task 1 of 3, and that's a backflip. Very simple to do, but again, it's not simple for everybody. If you're just starting out, we do have tips on how you do a backflip. And then down below, you see these 5 squares, and that indicates basically your current task is to do 5 successful backflips. We don't necessarily want you to just do 1 and then we move on, because who knows, maybe you got lucky. We want you to make sure that you've been able to replicate the success multiple times before we move on to the next one. Backflips, again, it's pretty basic, let's be honest, but some of the steps are not at all so basic. So once you get into mechanics that you're not used to, we feel this sort of repetition and trying to drive in that muscle memory might be really useful. Let's just do a backflip.
Magnificent.
That was a magnificent backflip. So there you go. You see those squares go green.
Hot dog.
Hot dog is something that says,
Very well done.
that gets said quite a lot around the trophy office.
Simply amazing. Exceptional.
There we go.
Great. Now, let's move on to the next step, a flip cancel, also called a canceled backflip. To cancel the flip, push forward on the left stick once your car is turned over, aiming for about a 180-degree rotation. Give it a try and do 5 flip cancels to move on to the next step.
Okay, so now you're starting to see the process here. So we succeeded in one task. We have Mansell, our AI coach, who's jumping in once we've succeeded on the task, and he outlines the next step of the task. What's interesting is that he will also observe and start to comment if you're...
That's not quite it. Try reading the steps in the top left for a little more help.
He will start to observe your technique and comment on problems that if you are saying flipping a bit too late,
I'd suggest working on your timing
There
for
you
the
go.
flip cancel. The trick is to do this quickly enough so you don't land on your car's nose, but not so quickly so that your car's nose points up in the air.
So Mansell is sort of constantly observing your attempts, and he will jump in with suggestions. Some of these suggestions are more generalized to try to, nudge you on the right path. Sometimes he will jump in with a very specific observance about what you specifically are doing wrong. And now let me show you another really cool feature that's actually really powerful. I haven't done yet, and that's Coach Chat. You can basically voice chat with Mansell, ask him questions, get him to clarify what he's talking about. If you hit the comma key on the keyboard and hold it down, hey Mansell, how quickly exactly should I be backflipping? Flip canceling is what I meant to say.
You should initiate the backflip and immediately push the left stick forward. The key is to do it quickly enough to land on your wheels without your nose pointing up.
Hey Mansell, is it okay to do a side flip or should it be a backflip?
For half flips, you should specifically use a backflip. Side flips won't achieve the desired turnaround and quick recovery.
So there you go. And as you can imagine, this feature is pretty powerful. You are in there and able to chat with a coach. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's do a few flip cancels.
Awesome work.
There you go.
Phenomenal.
So these tips in the oh, that was bad. These tips in the
First
top
rate.
of the screen hopefully are pretty helpful, but if you do need more insight, you want that sort of extra level
Really
of
great
clarification,
job.
you can always jump in via voice chat and ask Mansell to give you that info.
Way to go. Awesome. Now for the final step, a half flip. To half flip, you'll need to rotate your car after the flip cancel to land on your wheels. To do this, you'll need to keep holding up on the joystick to keep the flip canceled, but at the same time, press and hold the air roll button. You may find it easiest to map air roll left of air roll right to a convenient button in the settings menu. Give it a try and do 5 half flips to complete the tutorial.
Okay, so the current task is to do 5 complete half flips. So maybe I do need to ask questions and get more clarification. Again, these tips have updated on the top left of the screen. So I need to keep doing the step I was just doing, which is a flip cancel. Then I need to hold down the air roll button, left or right. Here's a really cool feature that I'm going to show you now. You may have noticed at the top of the screen, there's this thing called Pro Demo, right in the top middle of your screen. And that says press P to play or stop a demo. And this lets you, as it said, you can watch and learn from an expert. So we have basically like our high-level coaches and or pro players. We've gotten to basically record themselves doing these mechanics. And at any point, you can hit the P key and you can get this visual example of someone doing the thing. And this, I think we find really powerful because I know if you're like me, you have trained Rocket League and are learning a certain mechanic, and you end up like alt-tabbing out of Rocket League or having it on a second monitor to have a YouTube video that you're pressing play and pressing pause on. You're kind of looking deep. Maybe the camera angle is not like you want it, but you're trying to see the exact intricacies of how they're doing that. And just by hitting the P key here, basically your car will be taken over by the pro, and it'll show you how it's done. And if I hit the P key again, I'm back in control and I'm driving around. Let's hit P again. You can see it sort of warps your car back to where the demo started. Here's another really cool feature. You notice that the square brackets are listed up there in the top middle of your screen under Pro Demo. And this can slow down the game speed, so you can actually watch that attempt. Let's go to 25% speed. Okay, now, once it starts finishing the loop, come on. Oh, I'm at 5% speed. Now we can watch the attempt at 25% speed, and you can really see the intricacies of how that mechanic is done and the timing of when that rotation starts. I personally have found this super duper helpful for certain mechanics that I've been learning that are sort of beyond my pay grade. And we want to just, this will be a part of every lesson and every shot pack that we release going forward, is this Pro Demo feature. Again, P on your keyboard starts it, and square brackets back or forward, sort of you can see the speed slow down or speed up. And then P on your keyboard once more takes you back out and you're in control. So there's the Pro Demo feature. Let's go ahead and finish up the lesson.
Impressive.
That was, I don't think that impressive. It was
That's excellent.
not the best.
Stellar work. Super.
Let's just try just a regular front flip.
Make sure you're canceling the backflip by pushing the left stick straight forward quickly after the flip starts.
So there you go. If I get completely off the rails and I've just gone back to the first step and I'm only just flipping the car, I'm not canceling the backflip, Mansell is going to comment on that. And he's going to sort of
That's not quite it. Incredible.
fix my technique.
Hot dog. You've completed the lesson. How do you think that went? Press the comma key on your keyboard and tell me how you feel about your performance or any other feedback you have. When you're ready, leave the match and try out some of our games to practice what you've learned.
Okay, let's give Mansell one final comment. Hey Mansell, that was a great lesson. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. If you're ready to practice more, remember to exit this match by selecting Leave Match and launch a new session from the Trophy app. Keep up the great work.
There you go. Thank you, Mansell. Mansell's very encouraging, even when you don't feel like you're doing the mechanic as best you can. But one quick note before I end and take a few more questions, if people have them. I wanted to note that currently, you do, as Mansell told me, you do have to leave the match, and then you have to jump back to the Trophy app in order to launch a new lesson or a new game, whatever you want to move into next. Here's something else that's really exciting. So you're getting a lot of sneak peeks here today. Very soon, we're going to have sort of a new system by which you don't need to leave your training in order to jump into the next lesson or the next mini game, the next shot pack you want to do. Basically, will no longer require you to leave match and jump back to the Trophy app if that's not what you want to do. You'll have a system by which a little a box will pop up, and from there you can launch any training you want. We have the next recommended training, which will be the next step on your training path. So we'll tell you what we think is a logical next step of your training to go into. In this case, since we trained the half flip in a mechanic lesson, that would be our half flip countdown game, we call it. So basically it's essentially like a timer is counting down, and you're challenged to do as many half flips as you can in quick succession to rack up points, and then you can earn 1, 2, or 3 stars based on that. So let's call it there. And yeah, there you go. So that's another new feature we've got. It's coming out very soon. I would say that will be out in the next couple of weeks. So we're really excited about that transition system. And that's a quick demo of the mechanic lessons. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to jump in now. I'm going to go back to full screen. Yeah, if anybody wants to request to speak, yeah, jump up on stage. Oh, maybe you already have. Yeah, hey there. How's it going?
Hello, we've actually spoken before. Hello, nice to talk to you.
I recognize your voice. Yeah, I didn't know it from the cat profile image, but yes, yeah, nice to talk to you again. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good.
Presentation. I have 2 questions. One is a sillier one. Is there any plan to incorporate Mansell from Driver 61's voice pack into Mansell AI bot? It's like feedback.
Oh, that's a cool idea. You know, it's funny because certainly the topic has come up, you know, sometimes kind of jokingly, but also sometimes as a serious feature idea to be able to customize Mansell's voice into either the actual Mansell or other, you know, celebrity and content creator names have been floated. The idea is still on the table, so it's possible. We're not going there just yet, but we're never going to say never on that one. So yeah, it could happen.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. And then I have another question about you mentioned RLBot you were using?
Correct.
earlier?
Yep.
I've seen some machine learning training videos. Who is it? RLGym on Twitch,
Okay.
where they're showing a bot being trained using RLBot,
Okay.
and the bot needs to run through a series of scenarios, but it's just continuous, like it's a stream of scenarios. So just basically a training session. And I was thinking it would be cool if there was a human version of that, where you could just jump in and then I'm doing shooting, and then it's just like all over the field. The second you whiff or the second you make the shot, next scenario. Anyway,
That's very
and then
cool.
if you want to expand on just the things you're excited for about that platform, you obviously chose it for a reason. It's flexible, so I don't know if you would expand on that in general. You don't have to give details, but just general stuff.
Yeah, I wish Dr. Kyle, who was here earlier, was here because he could speak much more from a technical background about why the initial decision. Truthfully, I was not at the company even when the initial decision to make the first mechanic lessons through RLBot was made. He has a lot more of a technical perspective on that. I know RLBot was chosen because it basically gave us enough freedom. It doesn't have total freedom, but it gave us enough freedom from a modding perspective to get the job done that we wanted to get done, which was to build this proprietary AI coach and to have basically customizable lesson plans that we could insert in. I would be happy to start up a chat anytime with the devs to talk about the technical foundation of what we are and aren't doing with RLBot and why we chose that. But truthfully, I feel that if I tried to answer it, I'd probably not give you the right answer.
No problem. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, no sweat. Good to talk to you. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. Any other questions from the crowd while we're here? If you guys just want to go and try out the lessons or go about your day and try them out later, feel free and we can call it there. But yeah, we do really appreciate your time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little lesson. I think we wanted to sort of get through multiple things this time in quick succession rather than me talking at length like I did about analysis last time. But all of these recordings will be up on YouTube. So we'll be posting this to our YouTube channel, and we'll be sharing the recording. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the app. Try out Fullscreen Overlays if you haven't. Try out the AI mechanic lessons if you haven't. Chat with Mansell. There's a lot of cool features in here. Of course, there's lots of work we have left to do to sort of polish it and increase the quality, and we also want to increase the quantity by a fair amount. So if there's specific mechanics and skills you want to see added, let us know.